What's up, everybody? What's up, YouTube? This is Jay, and welcome to the series finale for Game of Thrones. I guess he was right when they said the ending would be somewhat bittersweet, um, and it definitely was. It's good that Daenerys got what she deserved for killing all the innocents, but I guess they had to pull that switch because everybody that watched the show was probably expecting Jon Snow to be king. It's been set up, geared that way for a few seasons. And so for them to pull Bran out and make him the king, that was a nice little turn of events that they threw in there. I didn't see that coming. And, they like to do things like that. But it was interesting to see how all three of the Stark kids became leaders in their own way. And they all happy living their life that they wanted to live. Arya is an adventurer, a pirate basically. Sansa is a lady, a queen. She always wanted to be queen when she was a little girl. And Jon Snow, he always wanted to go to the north, to the wall, and live out that way. And they all kind of ended up where they wanted to be in life. Whitney, hey, what's up, girl? How you doing? I enjoy all your comments you have on the videos during the week. I was glad to see you made it. What you think of the season finale of series finale of Game of Thrones? The way they ended it, they could make 3 spinoffs. The Jon Snow story, Arya, or what's the other girl name? Sansa. They can make all 3. Or they could try to combine it into a new show. But they said these spinoffs that they're going to make are going to be like prequels. At least that's what I heard. So maybe they trying to throw people off. But that would suck. Whitney, you say, I thought it was funny when they showed Jaime's hand poking through. Even they should have been deeper in the rubble. Yeah, I know, right? I thought that was kind of easy too. That if little Tyrion can dig him out, that was kind of shallow. And also, they could have ran over there to where the dragon head was, because the whole underneath didn't collapse like they made it seem. They could have survived, actually. Amizzy 20. Show made overrated. I'm glad it's gone. Game of Thrones was really good. This last season, I don't know. Maybe they wrote themselves into some corners and they didn't have many options. And so 6 episodes, and it was kind of predictable because they wrote themselves into a corner. But I think they should have made the battles longer and more detailed. You could have made the battle with the Night King 2 episodes. You could have made the battle with Cersei 2 episodes. That's 4 episodes right there. They gave us 2 episodes of talking and goodbyes, the first 2. And then sandwiched with 1 more in between the battles. 1.5, if you count this one. So I don't know. I think they could have extended it a little better. But it would be interesting. I would like to see instead of prequel spinoffs, I'd rather see spinoffs in the future, even 100 years in the future, and see what happened with the rule of Bran. What did he ended up doing? Or what happens? They can make a spinoff where it's picking up when Bran died, and now everybody's trying to decide who's gonna be the new king or something. That would be interesting. And at least they can tell stories and talk about things and people that we already know about, instead of starting prequels and we don't know any of these people or any of these stories and starting all over again. Some people invested years into watching this show. So let's see. Joyce, I knew you would not like the end. Nah, I didn't necessarily care for it. It wasn't the worst, but it wasn't the best. I give it about a 6.5. So, you know, it's not the best, not the worst. Whitney, way too much talking. Yeah, they put 3 episodes, really 4 episodes of talking into this last season. Really only 2 episodes of action, 2.5. I thought it would be a lot more action for this last season than it was. Especially when I saw it was 6 episodes. I figured, well, not too many people survived to make it long enough. But then I was surprised to see that all they did was sit around and talk. Let's see, Whitney. I was waiting for Brienne to write, Jamie, what's up, baby daddy? Ah! And she was going to write, and he told us up. He told us up, girl. Yeah, he did. Whoever read this, hey, he may have had one hand, but he made up for it where it count. That's what she was writing in the book. Whitney, I didn't start watching Game of Thrones until March and finished all 7 seasons 2 weeks before season 8 premiere. Dang, you did good. That sounds like somebody else I know that didn't watch it, and I got them to watch it, and they finished it up a couple weeks before, and they was hooked. But then they was sad. It's bittersweet for you guys because you got to watch it, you got hooked on the show, and now it's gone. You didn't get to enjoy it for years and talk about it like other folks. So it's good that you got up to it and you got to watch it, but just as good and just as fast as you fell in love with it, it's gone. So that's kind of crazy, huh? Joyce, do you think they will do a spinoff with Arya? They said that they are doing spinoffs, but they're prequels to all of these events. So from what they have said so far, no. Unless they decide to change, I think they should do spinoffs with the people that we already know. Or, you know, at least in the events after this, so that we can relate to it better than starting all the way over again from the beginning. When I very first started watching the show, I thought they should have made spin-off prequels, because they kept referring to so much stuff that we never saw before. And I was thinking, man, they should do prequel spin-offs. But now, who cares? So much has happened, and none of that stuff means anything no more. I mean, I started watching Game of Thrones in season 3. That's when I started watching it, so I've been watching it for a few years. And so much has happened now that it's really no point in making prequels that it doesn't relate to what we just saw, at least. So, I don't know. Let's see, Whitney, it's cool. I'll forget about it when Power airs. Yeah, but now Power's about to go off. All the shows that we know and love is going off the air. Game of Thrones is going off this year. Power's going off. Empire's going off. I'm gonna be out of business pretty soon, y'all. So I don't know what to do. I may be retiring, you guys. So enjoy these videos while you can. People don't watch some of the other shows I do my videos as much, so without Empire, Game of Thrones, and Power, I may be gone, you guys. Whitney, I need a spinoff. Scratch the prequel. I need to see what Grey Worm will be up to in Narth. Yeah, I know, right? Whitney, I have a few Hulu shows I like Harlots and The Handmaid's Tale. I have to check that out. I never heard of that. My son said, according to the books, in Narth, they have butterflies that are poisonous, but only people that were born there can survive. And if Grey Worm and the Unsullied go to Narth, that they'll die when the butterflies get them. So that's according to the books. That's what my son said. Flatliners, what's going on, man? How you doing? We get a little water. So what you think of the finale, Flatliners? I think Jon, he kind of killed her. I think he should have married her. And then they could have ruled together. Yeah, I don't like how that ended. I think he would have probably had a better chance of, but he didn't want to rule. He didn't want to be a part of all of that, even though he gonna kind of rule anyway over the free folk. Tormund and Ghost was happy to see him. He finally patted Ghost, gave shows some love. Whitney, I was waiting for Jon to kill himself. He was looking pitiful. Yeah, I thought he might have maybe did something like that too. I thought Tyrion was going to get roasted like a little bite size for Drogon. I thought he was a little snack, little Halloween size candy. I didn't know if Tyrion was going to make it. And when Drogon started blowing that hot breath everywhere, I thought they was going to take Jon out too. I thought it was a wrap for old John boy. Flatliners, no, she still would have wanted to make people bend the knee. Yeah, she would have. She'd have made them either bend the knee or burn. And then, like Tyrion said, what you think she gonna do to Sansa when Sansa don't want to bend the knee? You gonna watch Sansa burn up? So that would have been messed up. She'd have really had some red hair. Whitney, I knew bite-sized Tyrion would survive. How you know he was gonna make it, huh? Squeeze his way through. It's crazy how the lowest, weakest person in the whole world pretty much survived. Out of all the people, strong warriors and fighters and stuff, and different people in the world, the midget survived. Battles and everything. Whitney, I think Bran had foreseen everything and was planning the outcome the entire time. I think you may be right on that. That was probably true. Yep, because he said when he asked Bran to be the king, he said, what do you think I came all this way for? So he already knew it was something going down. And yeah, he was ready and prepared for it. And, you know, it's interesting that he became king. All those people there that were supposedly speaking up or was sitting there the most powerful. And again, they picked the weakest person to end up having the most power. It's interesting they kind of chose that route both ways. Because Tyrion, again, is hand of the king. So the two of the weakest people ended up being the strongest. So it just showed that all strength is not measured in muscles or warrior and mental capacity and other things. You could be just as strong, because no way would them two ever have made it to the top without a whole bunch of other circumstances that went on. Let's see. Flatliner. So they told Grey Worm they would send Jon the Night's Watch because he didn't know where that was. Didn't know there was no more Night's Watch. Wait a minute. So they told Grey Worm they would send Jon to Night's Watch because he didn't know there was no more Night's Watch. Who didn't know there was no more Night's Watch? Jon or Grey Worm? Because I think probably neither one of them knew it was any more Night's Watch, actually. But I think Jon wasn't thinking about how when Tormund told them they were gonna go up back north. So it was like Jon going back home. Let's see. Whitney. Bran is definitely conniving bastard. I'll never forget what he did to poor Hodor. Hodor. I mean, Hodor was there for that purpose, to help him. He didn't necessarily do anything conniving to Hodor, I wouldn't say. He didn't trick him, like, he didn't get Hodor killed on purpose. He just wasn't able to hold the door much longer, that's all. He couldn't hold that door all day. Grey Worm wanted Jon's head for killing his queen. I'm surprised they didn't just kill Jon right on the spot. It was already showing that Grey Worm had a problem with Jon when they was fighting in the streets, and Jon was telling the troops to stop fighting. Grey Worm was pissed, like, what? Don't be telling them to do nothing. And then just in this episode here, when Grey Worm was executing the prisoners, And Jon tried to tell him to stop, and he grabbed his hand. All the Unsullied had their weapons on Jon and his group. Jon was about to get slaughtered. That's what they told him. Hey, man, let's not die for these dudes, basically. That's what Devils told him, and then they let him go. But, yeah, Hodor and Jon already had bad blood. I'm surprised he didn't kill Jon on sight for what happened. So that didn't make any sense. And then the Unsullied, Grey Worm could have been king damn near, because they had the army and the power, and they had it. They could have just kept it. There's nothing nobody could have did right now. No army can defeat the Unsullied and Dothraki right now. So they would have been screwed. And I'm surprised that Dothraki didn't make more of a fuss about Daenerys being killed, and that was their Khaleesi. You just gonna let their Khaleesi get killed and they didn't give a damn? Just like, oh well, come on, let's go to the beach. Let's go to Narth. Yeah, that didn't make enough sense. So I guess they was trying to find a nice way to wrap up the story though. So I think they should have went for more than 6 episodes. My son said that HBO wanted them to do more than 6 episodes, but that they didn't. The writers said they wasn't gonna be able to do it. So I don't know what happened with that, but I think they was tired of the show, because they did take a year off. So this all should have happened last year actually. But remember, it was no Game of Thrones last year. They took a year off, so yeah. That's why it's season 8, even though it's damn near, 9 years. But anyway. Whitney, you were saying Bran is a conniving in general. Okay. I got you now. Yeah, he's real slick. He real calculated. He knows what's going on. He kind of got an advantage because he can see the past, present, and future. So, he kind of knows what's going to happen. Wait, he can't see the future, though. He can't see the future, I don't think. Only the past and the present. Yeah. Flatliners, for a minute, I thought Jaime was going to make it, even with the rocks falling on him. I thought he might have made it. Him and Cersei were going to make it. But once I saw the rocks fall and the screen go black on them, I was like, oh, no, it's over. Cersei over with. I think he should have tried to get up under one of those archways, though. Because when I saw those archways, I knew those were stamped for 1,000 years. A Grecian arch or, Roman arch. They could have ran and hid under there. They probably would have suffocated or starved eventually, or ran out of water or oxygen, suffocate something. But I don't know which one is worse, getting crushed to death or suffocation. Or I guess they all pretty bad. If they got crushed, they might have got hit upside the head, knocked unconscious at least, and then hopefully then they pass out and die. But yeah, everybody watching, go ahead and send in your questions if you got any questions or comments about the show. I'll be on for about another 10 to 15 minutes answering your questions, so don't hesitate to send in the feedback. What you think of the show? What do you think about the spinoffs? You think Sansa gonna end up turning into a ice queen? She been around a lot of bad people in power. I wonder if any of that rubbed off on her in a negative way. We'll see. It looked like Arya, that would have been a good spinoff. The Adventures of Arya and what the hell she doing, traveling all around the world, getting into trouble. Yeah, I wonder what the heck she doing. And Jon living with the free folk. He looking for another egret. Gone and getting that skinny dipping in that hot tub in the snow somewhere. I could see 20, 30 years Jon Snow just fat, like how Thor was fat in Endgame. You see Jon Snow just fat with a bunch of long hair just eating chicken and drinking drinks like Tormund with just sloppy. He gonna just let himself go out there with the violence. Flatliners. What's up with Arya? I think she should have stayed with her sister. Yeah, but remember, she said she never wanted to be a lady. That's why she didn't go and be with Gendry. Because Gendry, he had some lands and title now. He wanted her to come be with him. But she was like, nah, I'm not a lady. I'm a man. Nah. But nah, she always wanted to be a little warrior, a little fighter. So, Arya, it would be interesting to see where she going. West of Westeros. Nobody knows where that is. Nobody has any maps. That would have been a show right there. Let's hope they end up making that. That'd be interesting. Let's see. Whitney, do y'all think Cersei was actually pregnant? I think she was just trying to get strong men behind her. She was getting strong men behind her. That wasn't a problem. It just stayed a little too long. That's what happened. But, yeah, she was probably pregnant. Yeah, chances are I believe she was pregnant, especially at the end when she was crying, talking about, Jamie, I don't want to die. I don't want my baby to die. She was for real. She didn't want to die, and she didn't want that baby to die. She was pregnant. She had a bun in the oven. Let's see. Whitney, Arya has nothing to live for. She's another Brienne. Yeah, that's true. That's why she's looking for adventure. Arya is just living for adventure, living to fight, and just see what's out there. She don't have anything. She gonna probably end up being like what's the girl name? Yara Greyjoy. She'll probably end up being like her when she get older. Flatliners, yeah, but she could have been Sansa's hand. Yeah, that's true. And she would have been good there to protect her because she knows she can trust her. Yeah. Whitney, Arya could never be the hand. She's more of a fighter than a strategist. Yeah, that's true. She'd be more like the Queen's Guard. Like what Brienne was, the Queen's Guard. Yeah. Flatliners, yeah, she kept touching her stomach. I think she was pregnant, yeah. Whitney, who was the baby's daddy then? I was the pappy. No, Jaime was the baby daddy. She had made that clear before he even left King's Landing. And she was with Jaime. Qyburn confirmed that she was pregnant. So the baby daddy was Jaime. It's just that, she didn't want Jaime to be there if he wasn't going to support her, 100%. And Jaime wanted to keep his honor and say, we was going to fight for the living because that's what he said he was going to do. In a way, her strategy almost worked not to help them fight for the living because they did lose one more dragon. So it came close. If Daenerys would have lost that second dragon, I don't think they could have took King's Landing. And another thing I don't agree with is how nobody was able to shoot Drogon when he was by himself, but they was able to shoot the other dragon when they were flying. Shot him 3 or 4 times. But then when all the ships, 30 ships, are shooting at you at once and aiming at you, nobody could get a single hit on them. Nobody in the city or anything. I think that was kind of a little suspect, but hey, they shouldn't have made it so easy to shoot that other dragon. Whitney, Cersei, Jaime, and the fetus went on to meet the other 3 kids. It's a family reunion. It's a family affair. They can make put what in one of the spinoffs. Where's Drogon? Is he off laying babies, laying eggs, finding new baby mamas? I mean, he just left, flew off. He tried to nudge her like a dog, try to nudge her to see if she'll move, When she ain't moved, he just took off. And now he's out what? Just living his life, like living his best life? Living his life like it's golden? I mean, what is he doing? They left a few questions unanswered that a spinoff in the future would be good for. Whitney, it was Dany's fault they killed Missandre anyway. She should have fired upon Euron. Instead, she turned. Yeah, that's true. That is true. She gave up. She let her girl go. And so, that's what broke Grey Worm and her when they saw her head chopped off. That's what made them, lose it. Really, that was the final straw. And if she would have lived, maybe things would have been different. But to have Dany turn into what she did, I think that was a kind of a strong plot twist in a way. In a way, it's not, because they always said she was going to try to win through fire and blood or whatever the case. And she wanted to burn King's Landing to the ground a few times, and Tyrion talked her out of it. So to see when she finally had the chance that she ended up doing it anyway, she been wanting to do it for a while, so I guess it is what it is. Whitney, I thought Drogon was going to take Dany to Dragonstone, set her ablaze, and somehow Dany would resurrect. Then Drogon would return to King's Landing and wreak havoc. You got a heck of an imagination, don't you? You thought he was like the Night King, the Night Dragon, just set her ablaze, she come back, then they... That would have been something, wouldn't it? That would have been a hell of a turn right there. You need to go and try to write some scripts over here for HBO. Flatliners, why do you think the dragon burnt the Iron Throne? That made no sense. No, it didn't make no sense. What was that representing to him? He didn't know what that was. He didn't know that was a throne, or she died chasing that chair or whatever. That didn't make any sense. I guess it was symbolic, because they said the largest dragon is the one that created the Iron Throne with his dragon fire. And so I guess the largest dragon is the one that broke it. And she said she wanted to break the wheel. She damn near did. I don't know. But that didn't make any sense. I think that was all symbolic. Whitney, well, she's made of fire. Well, she's fireproof. We don't know if she actually made of fire. Flatline, exactly, the writers were reaching. Yeah, they was just trying to do some symbolic stuff, and to make it look good on TV, on the screen. Oh, wow. But in reality, that was unnecessary. Let's see. Whitney, symbolism and the throne just happened to be in that direction. I guess. Like I say, you should be a writer the way you think some of this stuff, Whitney. I think it was cool to look at on TV, but if you think about it, it was no point in that. And how would he know that that's a throne? I know they say dragons have intelligence, but he doesn't know all the details of what that was going on about that. They making him more intelligent than, the average bear. Get tired. But anyway, it was good. It was good to see at the end Tyrion at the hand of the king, and he had set it up for all his people to come. Bran done made it to the end of the damn show. Oh my god. Bran went from drinking in the tavern to being the Lord of Highgarden. Wow. Then they had Sam is the Maester of King's Landing. What? Davos. I don't know what he was doing there. And who else was there? All those guys end up making it to the top of power. It was crazy to see. that those guys survived. It was. Then they all started talking and arguing about the same stuff as if nothing ever happened, nothing ever changed. And they brought that book, A Song of Ice and Fire. That's the original name of the Game of Thrones book. And Tyrion, he like, I bet he really got on me. He like, well, he didn't mention you at all. Yeah. Whitney, I thought Drogon was smart as well. I was saying to myself, Jon, remove the dagger. Drogon will know you stabbed her. He's like, hey man, this evidence. This your ass that did that. I thought Jon was going to try to say something to everybody like she committed suicide. So when I found out that he let everybody know he did it, that was a shocker to me. He should have tried to make it seem like she committed suicide. Whitney, Davos is in control of their navy. Yeah, that's right. They asked about rebuilding the navy or the ships or whatever, and he said that. Yep, Davos. Sir Davos. Yeah. Yeah, so man, these guys had a heck of a life, huh? Davos, he came from being with Stannis, and Stannis trying to be the king, to now and being the hand of the king with Stannis, to pretty much now damn near being on the hand of the king. He in the High Council, and he made it to King's Landing finally. Didn't go the route that he planned, but he made it. He didn't want to go with Jon Snow back up to the wall again. I know that. He's like, all right, Jon. Well, hey, look, it's been one, but I'm about to stay down south for a while. I'm not going to the wall with your ass. So that was interesting. Yeah, damn Game of Thrones, man. I'm sad that the show is over with, though. Whitney, I thought Jon was going to reveal he was the true heir to the throne and have people vouch for him. I thought that way too for a second. Once he had killed her, I thought that too. And then when I saw that little council of everybody there, and then they said they had him as a prisoner and this and that, I'm thinking, what in the world? But then that stays with the storyline that Jon never wanted to be king. And he's had chances and he's turned it down. Let's see. KD's view, you gonna miss these live chats. I appreciate it. You should have comment more. I don't ever see your comments, KD's view. But I do a live chat at least once a month. When Power comes on, I'm gonna do Power recaps just like this too. So we'll see how that goes. Whitney, Bran didn't want to be king either. That's true, he didn't. But he was never offered it either. Whereas Jon was offered it a couple times and ended up turning it down. Bran, he was only... People asked him if he wanted to be Lord of Winterfell a couple times, and he said no. But they never asked him about being the king. You know, so you do got a point. He never asked to be king, but he never turned it down either. But Jon, I guess ever since before he got killed, everybody was expecting Jon Snow to be the new king. And so, you know, then once he found out his destiny and everything happening, I guess everybody really thought he was going to be the new king, which is the reason why I think they pulled the plug on making him the king and switched it to Bran, because the writers for Game of Thrones, they really like to do that type of stuff. Just like how they killed the main character, Ned Stark, in the first season. You know, that's never happened on the show before. They killed the main character during the first season, so they try to do things differently, keep everybody guessing. That's kind of what made this the #1 show of all time as far as ratings go. So it is what it is. KD, you came late to the game. Hey, man, at least you made it to the game, bruh. That's all I can say. So, I'm glad you made it at least, KD. And you just stick around. Just because this show is off the air don't mean don't come back and check on me now. You come on back, you may find other shows. Some people never even watched this show before, but I was talking about it and they went and checked it out and then became a fan. It may be other shows or things going on. You never know. No, I never watched this show until season 3. Somebody kept telling me about it, so I watched it and then I became a fan. Whitney, I love how they shook things up with killing main characters. Yeah, that's what had got me into it when I was watching Game of Thrones, and then I'm into it, and then when they killed Ned Stark, I was locked. Like, what? How did they do that? Like, how is the show going to survive? I got to see what happens on the next episode, and on the next episode, and on the next episode. And next thing you know, I was into it. Whitney J, what's your favorite all-time Game of Thrones episode? I love the Red Wedding. I love the Red Wedding too. I like Battle of the Bastards, and I also like what is that other one? Hard Home, when the White Walkers first attacked the Wildlands, and Jon Snow stared at the Night King eye to eye when he was leaving. I like that episode. That was a good one too. Yeah. I like when Cersei blew up everybody too. That was pretty cool too. Sipping on a glass of rosé. That's it. KD's view. I barely recognized the young kid from the Vale sitting next to the Lord. His mother was pushed through the moon roof by Littlefinger. He grew up. Yeah, he did. That was Robin Aaron. He was big. He was grown. Yeah, he was grown then. Remember, he was talking about he was gonna marry Sansa. Sansa like, no. But yeah, Robin Aaron was big at the dude from the Vale. He probably still can't fight though. Probably still a little punk, but yeah, he did get big. Man, Brandon Stark is big. You remember how little he was in season 1? It's hard to believe that's the same actor. Same for Arya. She's a grown woman now. Yeah. Whitney, you said Robert was so handsome. Yeah. Well, I'll take your word on that. But yeah, man, Brandon Stark, that little boy was probably like 11 years old, 12 years old when it started. Now he's like 20 years old, 21. That time went fast. Arya still looks like a little girl, Whitney. Yeah, she does. But if you look into her face, like they showed them couple close-ups in her face, I can see that she's been around for a while now. But her body and everything and her face from a distance, she looked like a little teenager still. But if you look at her face close up, you can see her face is starting to have some age on it. She still look young, don't get me wrong, but... Alright, y'all, I'm about to get out of here in about another 5 minutes. Yeah. You see Flatliners, it's amazing how they all have grown. Yeah, you know what else is tripped out? If you look at Power Season 1 and look at Tariq and look at him now, you'd be like, man, look at this little ass boy. Like, Tariq was so little. He was like 12 years old, 11 years old. And now he like, what, 16, 17, 18? I mean, he's came a long way. Yeah, and look at Tariq and both of them kids. Yeah. Whitney, Sansa shocked me when I seen that double chin in season 6. She had a double chin. I gotta double check that. Double check. But she may have been pregnant. I don't know. I look like Gilly was pregnant this season. They had somebody else that was pregnant before, so I don't know. They've had people pregnant on The Walking Dead, and they try to shoot around it, have them wearing different type of clothes, or not running or jumping or whatever. Let's see. Renee. Bran will make a better king than any of them, but all in all, I was disappointed by this final. Yeah, I agree on both of those. I think he will be a better king, and I was somewhat disappointed, but I don't know. It probably would have been impossible for me not to be disappointed thinking about it. Because what more could they have done in a way? I mean, they could have made the battles a little longer, maybe 2 episodes for those battles. But, I mean, they wrote themselves into a corner. What could happen? It was damn near inevitable. Yeah, it was disappointing somewhat because the show is over and they're not going to make any more. This is the first show that I've watched the ending like this. So it is kind of bittersweet to see it go. You spend so much time watching these shows, and then with me making videos about them, it's somewhat attached. And now they're gone. It's like people don't know where to go next. What do we watch now, huh? It'll be alright. We'll find something else. On to the next show, right? But this was a good one. Yep. Let's see. KD, it's been real. I'll look out for you. Can't wait for Power. Yeah, I know, right? Flatliners, Jay, you're lucky. I've been disappointed by several shows. Yeah. I've seemed to watch a lot of shows, but very few do I stick around through the years and get invested in and then watch to the end. You know, very few. And so, this was sad. I watched Ash versus Evil Dead finale, but that was only like 2-3 seasons. So that wasn't that long, that much of time, but still. KD's view. Unsullied going to North. I guess the Dothraki gonna stay in King's Landing. Yeah, I know, right? They never said what the Dothraki are gonna do. They're gonna have to get on another wooden horse and go on back home. Flatliner, Sopranos, Breaking Bad, The Wire, Lost. Yeah, you didn't had a few. See, during that time, I didn't get to see The Sopranos, Breaking Bad, The Wire, or Lost. I didn't get to see hardly any of those during that time. When those shows was on, I was working a lot. And so I didn't get to watch a lot of TV for a few years. Whitney, Boardwalk Empire. I remember that show. It seemed pretty cool, but it didn't last that long. But it seemed like a good show. Steve Buscemi was in it. But yeah. Yeah, I heard Boardwalk Empire was good. HBO makes the best shows, consistently. HBO makes some damn good shows. Better than everybody else on average. Much better than network television and better than Showtime and Cinemax. Everybody got a show that sometimes is a hit, don't get me wrong. But HBO, if you go down their list, they got some good ones. They probably got 5 or 6 of the top 10 shows in the last 20 years was on HBO. So I watch a lot of HBO. Yeah, I think HBO is better than Netflix. Netflix is too new to compare. And Netflix has just now started having groundbreaking shows. But Netflix doesn't have anything to go against The Sopranos or Boardwalk Empire or, Game of Thrones. And they got a few good shows, But one of the problems with Netflix is actually one of their benefits, and that's binge watching. When you let all of the episodes out at once, it creates binge watching, which is good, but it kills the show because it doesn't create anticipation. The anticipation from one week to the next builds an audience. People are talking about the show in between each week, people in offices everywhere, and then the show grows. If you release it all out at once, then people feel, well, it's no rush. I can see it whenever. I know what's going to happen. Some people watch it all at once and know the ending and try to spoil it. It's not the same. Whereas with this, it's like old school where everybody watching the show together. We all are, finding out together. People are all speculating together. And then people like myself that make videos on YouTube are providing free promotion for these shows because we build audiences and speculation about what's going to happen next. Whereas in Netflix, there's no reason for me to cover every episode when they got them all there all at once. There's no point. You can see each episode whenever you want. If you missed it, you can go back and watch it. So I don't know. Netflix is good, but one reason why the shows won't probably grow an audience bigger than Game of Thrones is because of the binge watching. Whitney, the Nick. I like the Nick, but they canceled it. They canceled the Nick. It wasn't even finished. Yeah, I watched all of the Nick, Whitney. I love that show. The Skinamax, yeah. Yeah, and they had Clive Owen in the Nick. That was my show. I hated that they didn't renew it. Flatliners, I agree 100% with the Ben. Yeah, KD's View. I watched it all the way through. Good actors. HBO has all the best shows. I only watch Showtime Boxing. That heavyweight knockout. Yeah, I started to do a video about that. He knocked that boy upside the head so quick, he was out like a light. Man, Deontay Wilder has one hell of a right hand, don't he? I mean, he don't have the best boxing skills, but that right hand is no joke. You know. Cersei Paris, how you doing? Cersei. Did I pronounce that right? Cersei. Cersei. KD's View, he was done. Yeah, he was out, boy. After talking all that crap. That's the problem. He was talking too much crap, made it personal, and he got chin checked. You know. Damn fool. Yeah. But anyway. What did you all like best about this season in Game of Thrones, and what y'all not like the most? Flatliners, I can't give Wilder too much credit fighting cans. I know, right? Yeah, that was a weak fight. That dude only had 20 fights. Wilder had more knockouts than he had fights. Cersei, yes. LOJ, I love your review. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm glad I got it right. I try to pronounce it right. I got hooked on phonics a long time ago, so still working. Cersei, what did you think about the Game of Thrones finale? What'd you like the most? What you not like the most? Yeah, sad to see it go. What shows are you guys gonna watch next? Still got The Shy going on. Right now, that's the only show I'm watching at the moment. Barry, I watched Barry, but that just ended tonight. Power won't be on until August. Let's see, Flatliners. I keep going back to episode 3, Death of the Night King, best episode of the season. Yeah, that was the best episode. Maybe probably the best episode they ever made as far as action and suspense and everything. That was probably the best episode of the whole show. But we all had a lot of anticipation for that. But that was a good one, though. Cersei, I was kind of disappointed. Hate to see it go. Yeah, I agree. I would have liked for it to go longer, 10 years maybe. But I guess it's like I say, they write themselves. Sometimes the writing is so good, you write yourself into a corner. And they really didn't have enough options left. I guess they could have kept going with the story. Who says they can't keep going? But I guess they was tired. They want to do other stuff. The writers for Game of Thrones already signed on to write the next Star Wars trilogy. So they're about to be writing Star Wars, which is going to be great for Star Wars because now it's going to be really realistic. So, yeah. KD's view. Your best is when Arya took out House Frey. That was tight. She made everybody drink up. Slit his throat. Yeah, that was a good one. Whitney, I almost forgot about my other show, Claws, with Niecy Nash. I never heard of that show. Claws. Sansaray. Right, episode 3 was the best. Oh, okay. Yeah, episode 3 was good. KD's view. I can't wait for Claws. I never heard of Claws. What is that about? Flatliners. HBO has a comedy coming in August about a preacher and his son. Oh, yeah. And The Watchmen. Yeah, I might do The Watchmen. But that show, The Preacher and His Son, I love, dude, comedy. That's, what you call it? McBride. Danny McBride. He did Vice Principals. He did, I hated when that show was over with. I forgot I watched that. Vice Principals, and he also did Eastbound and Down. And, man, Danny McBride is funny. And this one's going to have John Goodman in it. Yeah. They're going to be some bogus preachers. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. And The Watchmen, yeah. Whitney Castillo, I've never seen a single Star Wars film in its entirety. What? You might be past it now. That's something you need to see when you're younger. And then you'll have probably more appreciation for it. I've shown the Star Wars to a couple people before, and I think a couple of them did like it. A couple of them couldn't get into it. If after a certain age, your mind, you ain't gonna be open to none of the stuff. Put it that way. The first 3 movies are the best. The second 3, some people like them, some people don't. And then this next 3 that just came out, I'm kind of in the space where I'm kind of past those movies now. I don't know. I think the Star Wars story is just kind of old almost. I don't know. Read up on Claws on TBS. I'll check it out. Eastbound and Down was, man, that was the show, wasn't it? Man, that was funny. If you all got HBO Go, the app is free if you got HBO. They got Eastbound and Down on there. I think it's on HBO. Man, that show had me rolling. Oh, I love that show. Eastbound and Down. If you all watch that show, it's guaranteed to have you dying. Yeah. Eastbound and Down was funny. KD's view, original Star Wars are good. The spinoffs are ruining the franchise. Yeah, I agree. They supposed to have a Star Wars TV show coming out. You know, Disney has their own Netflix coming out at the end of this year. Whitney, imagine how many Marvel films I've seen. 0, right? Now, I've seen all the Marvel films. I've seen all the Star Wars films too. But the Marvel films are a little different. They're fresh. It's a new type of story, kinda, and they use quality actors. Star Wars always likes to use new up and coming actors to build their franchise, um, and Marvel, they use established actors, and it's pretty good movies. It's better than what you may think. Whitney, I think I may have seen all three Iron Mans. I watched both Guardians film a few months ago, Black Panther on Netflix, begrudgingly. Black Panther was alright, though, but how everybody was going crazy over Black Panther, I didn't never see all of that. It wasn't that groundbreaking and that special. I mean, the fact that he's a black superhero, I understand. But as far as how good the movie is, it was as good as the rest of the Marvel movies to me, which they are all good. So, you seen the new Spider-Man? Yeah, that was good. Yeah, BP was hyped up. It was good, but it wasn't more than any of the other movies. So, anyway, it's been about an hour, you guys. I really enjoyed all the comments and feedback. Sad that the show's gone, dead and buried. I may watch it all over again. I've watched it already about 5 or 6 times from start to finish. I may watch it again one day, but it's hard to watch now that I know who dies and when. But that's the way the pickle squirted, right? Anyway, I appreciate everybody for stopping by, supporting my channel, supporting the video. I'm getting ready to sign off. KD, you take it easy. It's been real. We'll be on the lookout for you. I appreciate it. Whitney, Flatliners. Which one you never heard before, Whitney? The way the pickle squirted? Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, guys, I appreciate all that support. Now that this show is gone, just look for my videos for other shows. Pickles. Alright, well, I'm glad I left you with a smile, Whitney. Everybody else, have a good evening. Cersei, I got you too. Alright. Well, that's good. You all have a great evening. Time for me to watch The Shy. See what happened to Brandon. Alright, everybody. Thanks. Love you all. Peace. And I'm out.